The thoroughbred is a magnificent animal, bred for speed, bred to compete, the sport of kings.
Tama is drawing away, and Tama with Mike Smith, they win the Bet Parks Pennsylvania Derby.
It's the all-new Let's Go Racing from Parks Casino and Racetrack. It's action-packed and fun for the entire family.
Il Miracolo now in command.
Let's Go Racing is proudly brought to you by the Pennsylvania Thoroughbred Horsemen's Association. It's fun to see them run.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Let's Go Racing. I'm Chris Griffin. That's Dick Girardi, and we've got a great show coming your way right here on NBC Sports Philadelphia. What do we have on tap? It's a jam-packed show. 2 stakes races this past week at Parks Racing. Parks Racing's Horse of the Year in 2023, Aoife's Magic, looked to stay undefeated in the Big Apple in the Busher Stakes. The Grade 3 Gotham Stakes, Maximus Meridius, he looked to join Kentucky Derby hopeful and stablemate Uncle Heavy for our 2023 Trainer of the Year, Butch Reed. And some more points on the Derby trail. And Let's Go Racing's Danny Gibson, she's going to visit with the oh-so-talented Trainer Dee Curry. Dee can act, she can sing, oh, and she also knows how to train a racehorse. These stories and much more coming up on Let's Go Racing. Look at this.
Hey, what are we
30
doing?
years
What's
and now
going
our
on there?
first time together.
What's
We kind of did
happening?
this once already.
Yeah, we
before.
did. We did. We're ready.
Lots of great racing action, and we're going to start right here at Parks. We had 2 stakes races on a Tuesday afternoon,
indeed.
and we talk about the main line there on the 8th race on Tuesday.
Yeah, it was interesting, Chris. The whole time Experimental coming down from New York for Chad Brown was a pretty overwhelming favorite, and then huge money at the end came in on Jean Marie, Butch Reed, and Michael Sanchez, and she went off the slight 6-5 favorite. They were both 6-5.
Let's take a look at that race. Here's Jessica Paquette, track announcer, with the call.
Jean Marie's doing it still pretty easily. Experimental looms in second. On the outside, Eclair Blanc, she's improving her position. She's in third and gaining the half, 48-4, as they head through the far turn. Jean Marie continues to show them the way. Eclair Blanc's gotten the cue. She's improving her position. In second, Experimental, she's beginning to make her bid, and Kiss for Luck is coming up the rail with a rally. Sweet Distraction, she's in fifth. Maria Says So, unwinding from the back, and at the back now is Molly Malone. As they head through the turn at the top of the stretch, Jean Marie has led almost every step of the way. Now she says, come and catch me. She gets the reins shaken at her. She is game on the lead.
And there you saw it, Jean Marie. No matter how much rain, you can always see those Cassius King silks. Michael Sanchez aboard, Butch Reed with the Exacta. What can't Butch do at this point here at Parks?
Nothing at all, Chris. I mean, he's just the man down here. As you said, Trainer of the Year, just wins stakes races all over the place. And Experimental came down. Chad Brown, Kendrick Carmouche. Way back in the day, Chris, Woody Stevens used to say when these people would come in from out of town to New York, the buildings get awful tall when you cross the Hudson. Well, guess what? When you cross the Delaware, look out. Don't be coming down here thinking you're getting the money in Parks.
Here's more on the mainline stakes with the winning connections.
Michael, right on the lead. Did you ever think they were getting by you?
You know what? She gave me a really good feeling on the backside. She was nice and fit. I'll give you all the credit to the trainer, Ruth Reed for the, for getting her ready. A big layoff out of the 4.5. I didn't know much about her, and he gave me confidence. Just let her do her thing. Break and get a clean break, good position, see where she takes you.
And the City of Brotherly Love Stakes, that was race 9 on the program on Tuesday, and with a race name like that, of course you're going to have a favorite shipping in once again.
No question. Guinari coming in from New York for Ricky Dutrow. And I don't remember Rick having a horse down here, Chris, in about 20 years. He won the PA Derby back in '04, but always nice to see Rick back in town.
Let's see if the big favorite got home in the City of Brotherly Love Stakes. Jessica Paquette, once again, on the call.
Levin, Lonesome Boy, Guinari beginning to move in third. He's improving his position. Just step on it. He's in fourth. Then it's Capo and Nothing from Cary Grant. He's way at the back. Levin and Lonesome Boy. Now those two are noses apart. Lonesome Boy sticks his neck in front. Levin coming right back at him. Guinari continuing to improve. He's going to go to the outside for his bid as they make their way around the far turn. A quarter mile left to go. Levin is losing some ground. Lonesome Boy has the lead, but now has to brace for the challenge of Guinari, who's trying to come after him at the top of the stretch. Lonesome Boy has a tenuous lead. Guinari grounding down the center of the track. Levin has something left. He's game, and on the outside, Capo's charging. Lonesome Boy, Guinari racing greenly, trying to reel him in. Lonesome Boy trying to pull the upset. A 16th left to go.
And the upsetter, Lonesome Boy, talk about moving up in conditions there, but the Bow Show. Can't go through a show without calling him the Bow Show, because he will come find me. Adam Bowman gets home the winner. Lonesome Boy pulls out the upset.
No question, Chris. Up 10-1. And what's fascinating here is this horse took 7 tires to break his maiden, and now all of a sudden they can't beat him. Again, the favorite from New York tried to cross the Delaware to no avail. Afterwards, I was able to catch up with the man, the Bow Show himself, Adam Bowman.
It took him a while to learn how to brake from the gate because he was so slow as a 2-year-old learning how to brake. And then once he figured it out, that light bulb just You know, and I thought he was going to be a nice horse. Every time I'd work him and I'd run him, he'd always come running late, just couldn't break, get him out of the gate. But the last couple times, he's really blossomed into a nice horse.
Did you feel anything coming in the stretch?
Honestly, when I turned for home, my horse tried to prop on me. He tried to put the brakes on, and he was waiting for the other horses. Then when I got to about the 8th pole, I kind of looked back, and it felt like he was pretty clear, and I just kind of let him coast home.
Congratulations again to the Connections, the Washington-bred John Parker sending the horse out east in the Bow Show, picking up the win on Lonesome Boy in the City of Brotherly Love Stakes. First break time here on Let's Go Racing. Enough of New York coming here.
Yeah, that's right.
We're going to go to New York,
Exactly.
and we're going to see some of those stakes races. And Candy Gibson from Let's Go Racing, she's going to visit with Dee Curry. Plenty more on Let's Go Racing on NBC Sports Philadelphia.
One night, one stage. Woo! Country music's hottest supergroup, The Frontmen, featuring Richie McDonald, formerly of Lone Star. Baby, I'm amazed by Larry Stewart, lead singer of Restless Heart. Tim Rushlow, formerly of Little Texas. Friday, March 29th, the Excite Center at Parks Casino. The voices that brought you 3 decades of #1 country hits live. On sale now at parkscasino.com. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The question a lot of people are asking themselves these days is, do I buy new or do I buy pre-owned? Here's what I'll tell you. New car inventories are still low and new car prices are still high. However, with the certified pre-owned Nissan at Chapman Nissan, we have a huge selection and you can save thousands over new. Plus a 7-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty, roadside assistance, 1-year prepaid maintenance, and so much more. And not for nothing. Can you really tell the difference? I can't.
And welcome back to Let's Go Racing here on NBC Sports Philadelphia. Once again, Chris Griffin, joined by Dick Girardi, and we are headed to New York, headed to the Big Apple, and we had some great stakes racing action there as well. The Busher Stakes, and we had 2 contenders from Parks that were trying to take down the big prize up there in New York.
Yeah, including Chris, as you mentioned, our 2023 Horse of the Year, Aoife's Magic, undefeated, the daughter of Smarty Jones in 4 starts, first big test against Open Company, Carmelina for Butch Reed to speed, and they're all trying to beat Jody's Pride, who's the odds-on favorite here. Of course, she was second in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies.
We had Kentucky Oaks points on the line and $200,000 in purse money on the line, so let's see what they did against Open Company.
Let's see what they did, and there's some guy up here, I'm not sure who this is, that calls this race, but check it out at Aqueduct.
Carmelina's got the lead, is up by 3/4 of a length. Here comes Jody's Pride. The 4-5 favorite is within range as they move towards that far turn. At the rail, that's Regulatory Risk, and under a drive, that's Princess Mayfair, who's back there in 4th. Also trying to make up ground, Sicilian Princess, Jin Aoife's Magic is 6 lengths off the lead. The lead is Carmelina. It's Carmelina who's up by a half length, 46-4 for the half-mile time. Jody's Pride with every shot to run Carmelina down as they get set to reach the top of the stretch. Aoife's Magic is making up some ground to the inside there with Jin Regulatory Risk. Carmelina's got the lead at the top of the stretch. It's Carmelina who's up by a neck. Jody's Pride is trying to push on by Carmelina. Aoife's Magic is running to 3rd, and Jody's Pride is now letting it out, and Jody's Pride is kicking away. Carmelina is coming right back to her inside and not done yet. Jody's Pride, Carmelina inside the final 16th. Jody's Pride is up by a full length.
And there you saw it, Jody's Pride coming off the long layoff and able to get by Carmelina in the late stages in the Busher. Carmelina finishing 2nd, Aoife's Magic ending up finishing 4th, almost got that 3rd, but ended up finishing 4th. A nice race that sets them both up. Before we get your thoughts, let's find out what Butch Reed and also David DiTolo thought about their fillies' efforts.
Carmelina ran a valiant effort in the Busher Stakes. Tell us about her effort.
Yeah, she gives it to you every time. You really got to love this filly. We've shipped her all over the East Coast in the last year or so, but she gives a solid effort every time you take her over there.
What's next for her?
I'm not sure just yet. I'm not sure if the Gazelle is there with Oaks Points and all that kind of stuff, but I'm not sure 1 1/8 is really her best distance. I think she's a little bit more of a middle distance horse, 7/8, a mile like she did the other day. So we're shopping around. There's races in Maryland and there's races all over the place. So she's got plenty of opportunities all summer.
Didn't think she handled the track at all. You could see when she came out of the gate, she just wasn't herself. She didn't go. And I talked to Wolford after the race, and he said she just couldn't get grip on the track. And I thought the effort was fantastic. I mean, because she still moved into 3rd. We were hoping she could hold it, but she struggled most of the way around there. But she came back great, and that's all that really matters. So, and going forward, I don't know, there's a couple of spots I'm looking at. One I may nominate to the Gazelle up in New York, and there's another race at Lowell going for 125,000 for 3-year-old filly. So we'll see how she comes out, and we'll go from there.
Dick, you take a look at Carmelina's effort. What did you think? I mean, good speed. What did you think of the effort?
I was really impressed, Chris. 76 Beyer, it's her career top. Obviously, she was running against a top-class filly in Jody's Pride. I think they got to be very much bullish on her in 2024.
All right, we'll see what happens there with Carmelina. And Aoife's Magic, you know, coming in undefeated, the horse of the year.
Yep.
Some pressure there for David DiTolo, but took the trip. An okay fourth.
I actually liked what she did, Chris, because I'm watching a race on the backstretch, and I'm like, uh-oh, she's in trouble. I don't know where she's going to run. She hadn't run any particular big Beyer numbers, and I love the way she moved on the turn and came in the stretch. As you said, she just missed finishing third. 71 Beyer figure, career top. I know David's encouraged. You could put her on a fast track where she's got her speed, she's up into the race, I think she'd run even better. I was encouraged by her race.
This is the time, as they say, it's cliche, kind of to see where we are, see what we've got in Aoife's Magic. She's going to continue to win a lot of races. We'll see where both horses end up going as the trail continues. There was still more racing action in New York.
Yes, there was.
The Grade 3 Gotham Stakes, of course. And one thing we also didn't mention, there was weather in the area. So some sloppy conditions throughout the afternoon. Closed out the card with the Grade 3 Gotham, $300,000 race at the 1 mile. Cutting back in distance, actually, for the New York preps going into the Derby.
Yeah, it was interesting. I mean, typically you don't see that, but the longer race, now the shorter race, and some of the horses that were in a longer race didn't want to come back. 2 from Parks again. Maximus Meridius, we mentioned in the Open. This horse with a ton of talent. Now he's going into an Open Stakes race against a lot of really good horses. And our man, Uriah St. Louis, with Deposition. Nobody ever believes in him, Chris. He's 82-1, but one thing he always does, he always outruns his price.
All right, we'll see what happens at the Grade 3 Gotham Stakes, and I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
You're not doing this? All right, I'm going to throw it to that track announcer. I think his name, I think it's Chris Griffin.
Maximus Meridius is 25-1 and takes him to a half-mile left to go, is up by 3/4 of a length. El Grandeo with every shot there from second, just a touch is in third. Deterministic is in fourth. Air Cav is shoved along, not making up the ground. Deposition down towards the inside. Out wider there is Light Line. Capital Idea. Green Cap is starting to launch a rally from the back. Eliminate and tailing off was Bergen. It is still Maximus Meridius in front. Here comes El Grandeo is looming up on the outside. These two head and head as they reach the top of the stretch. 46-3 for the half-mile time, 1:10-4 for 3/4. El Grandeo has got the lead in the Gotham. It's El Grandeo out in the center of the racetrack. Maximus Meridius is battling on, chasing his Deterministic in between horses. El Grandeo, but here comes Deterministic in full gear down towards the inside and takes the lead.
Long layoffs were the story. Deterministic comes off of a layoff as well. Joel Rosario, kind of that patented move in the Gotham, runs him down the late stages. Maximus Meridius finishing 4th. Deposition finishing 6th. Let's talk to the connections first, and then we'll find out what Dick Girardi thinks of the Gotham. But here's Butch Reed once again, and Uriah St. Louis on their horses' efforts.
I've always been real high on this horse. He's got a lot of talent, and I still think he hasn't put it all together yet. You know, Mikey said the other day when he got to the inside, he kind of waited on horses, and again lost his concentration a little bit. So I think we're just scratching the surface with him. I think there's a really big upside with that horse.
The track was playing at a speed bias, and he was kind of in between the pack, and Dexter was trying to get him out, but he couldn't get him out, and we stuck on the rail. You could see everybody was 5-6 wide, so he didn't run his race. I thought he could run.
And there you saw Butch Reed and Uriah St. Louis. Once again, thank you for their time after a big weekend like that. And looking at both horses, I mean, let's start with Deposition and that 6th place finish off of a 4th place finish in the prior start.
Yeah, I think longer is probably better for him, Chris. I think that's why he ran better in the Withers than this race. So, and look, I love Uriah, and he'll be back in the wood, I'm sure, and we'll see how he does. Maximus Meridius, I thought he was impressive. I don't think that was necessarily the place to be. He was up front. Butch had 2 of them, which tried to lead all the way. Thought he got maybe a little tired late, but he was 25-1, outran his odds, and I do think the winner is a very, very nice horse. Look out for Deterministic, who I suspect probably will come back in the Wood Memorial as well.
Yeah, Deterministic really just shot up the charts, it seems like. He's going to be one of the leading contenders going into the race, and we're going to talk about some more Derby preps coming up, but we've got an interview that we got to throw to Danny Gibson. She's not sitting up here today. She'll be back next week, but she was hanging around the backside as well with trainer Dee Curry, who's got, I mean, just this list of things that Dee Curry is talented at. She can act, she can sing. She was talking about riding horses for the Queen. I mean, she has done it all, and Danny Gibson had an opportunity to catch up with her. She's got some nice horses in her barn. She was the Turning for Home Trainer of the Week. Have I hyped her up enough?
I don't think so.
Let's send it to Danny Gibson here with trainer Dee Curry right here at Parks.
There is lots to love about Parks trainer Dee Curry. As you can see, Dee has a special place in her heart for these beautiful horses. Horse racing is in her blood, and it goes way back to her childhood across the pond.
I grew up in Europe with my grandparents. My mother was from England. My great uncle rode for the Queen. He did steeplechase racing. My grandfather was a horse trainer, and I hung around the barns. I just loved it. I loved racing. My grandfather was very proud of me with horses in general. I came to this country when I went to high school.
Dee has been blessed with terrific thoroughbred owners through the years, including Jeff Bowen. The two have been together for 25 years with great success.
He has taken me to the Ohio Derby in 2019. I was the 4th woman ever to be invited in the Haskell in 2019. We've won multiple stakes. I was 3rd in the cotillion, and then he was breeding horses, and I still have the family of all that breeding.
Curry has downsized a bit the past few years. She currently has only 8 in her barn, but they are special. 100 Grand started his racing career with an impressive 2nd place finish, and he is just learning to race.
100 Grand trying to take them all the way. Nasty Habit gaining with every stride.
Well, with 100 Grand, he is the grandson of Keyline Baby that I was 3rd in the cotillion. So I knew his family. I've trained that family for so long.
Another impressive horse is Dropline. He recently blew away the field to break his maiden.
And Dropline is going to run away from the field here. Dropline, a sharp maiden winner.
An All-American Rod broke his maiden at 35-1. No doubt her owners know Dee is one of the best with young horses.
All-American Rod, long shot in with a chance, 16th left to go.
I got very lucky. I had very good owners that kept me wanting to do this, because this can be a very stressful job. And I just went from there, and I had a knack with young horses, so I went from one owner to another owner. Everybody wanted to give me 2-year-olds.
The one thing you don't know about Dee is she went to college for broadcasting. She's so good at communicating, the national TV show Wild About Animals reached out to her to talk about the sport she loves.
That was fun, because I did go to school. Actually, I went to Rowan, and I went for communications, broadcasting, television, speech communications, and I wasn't using it. But now that I'm in animal rescue, I do a lot of videos for the dogs, and then I have fun doing videos here because I feel like I went to school for something. I got to be on TV and also be around my love of the horse, so it's a win-win.
I'm Danny Gibson for Let's Go Racing.
And thank you again to trainer Dee Curry and Danny Gibson for that great segment. And Dick, we gotta start building our resumes even more.
Yes,
I mean, Dee Curry can do it all and train racehorses. It also goes to show you that a lot of talented people back there, they can train racehorses, and they also, outside of the track, they can do a lot of things as well.
Indeed, and Dee is one of the very best at all of those things, for sure.
We'll see what happens with the Dee Curry barn and some of her runners, and we'll see what we've got when we come back on the other side of the break. Another break time here. More Kentucky Derby prep races coming up. The Devona Dale, Allegheny Leon, all kinds of action still to come on Let's Go Racing.
And they're off in the 78th running of the Fountain of Youth Stakes.
This is Parks.
This is how you roll, this is how it goes. This is how you pop, this is how you rock. Take a chance, do a dance, little romance. This is how you. This is how you excite, this is how you all night. 360 hit me, now we're going all in. I can feel it calling, the crowd, the light, the night, the sights, the vibe is right. This is how you. This is
Parks, Pennsylvania's #1 casino experience. This is how you win.
And welcome back once again to Let's Go Racing on NBC Sports Philadelphia. Dick Girardi, Chris Griffin, and we've got National Races of the Week. They happen to be more Kentucky Derby prep races in those national races. The Grade 2 Fountain of Youth, and it became somewhat of a story.
Yes.
Some scratches in the race.
Big scratches. Locke got sick the morning of the race, or Todd Pletcher wasn't happy with something. And then his other really highly touted horse, Speakeasy, ran off in the post parade. So all of a sudden you're looking around, Dornock, the full brother to Mage, who looked good anyway, is an overwhelming favorite. Looks like he can't lose on paper, and maybe he can, Chris. We'll see.
Yeah, that headliner maintained his spot in the race. We'll see how he did in the race. The Grade 2 Fountain of Youth, Pete Aiello at Gulfstream Park with the call.
It's Dornock in front by a length. From the outside, Real Macho. From the inside, La Dombro. Frankie's Empire given the green light to launch a 4-wide bid, and well back to Dancing Groom. Around the far turn they go. Le Dombro tries to quicken up on the inside of Dornock. These two now 2.5 better than Frankie's Empire. Real Macho puts the cue in the rack as they run to the top of the stretch. It's a confident Luis Saez on big favorite Dornock. He's inside a 1/4 mile from home and in front. Le Dombro fighting as hard as he can, trying to stick with him. 3 back to Frankie's Empire, and they're at the top of the stretch. It's Dornock asked to finish the job at the inside. Le Dombro running his heart out, but he's back to second his door knock is too much horse. Door knock clear with a 16th to go.
And there you saw it, door knock getting the job done. A workmanlike effort, I think, as you would say.
Yeah, I think that's fair, Chris. It's interesting. This horse is co-owned by Jason Worth, and obviously everybody in this market knows Jason Worth. 2008, he was the right fielder on the Phillies World Series champions. He's gotten into horse racing, and he's got a piece of door knock. How about that entering the sport? Now you got a possible Kentucky Derby horse, and we will work on making sure when he runs next that week, we're going to find a way to get Jason Worth on this show one way or another.
Plenty of rooting interest right here in the city of Philadelphia, and I saw Pete Aiello. He was taking pictures with Max Scherzer, Jason Worth. He was having a good old time after that effort, especially when door knock wins at a short price. Frankie's Empire, good third place finish for some local connections as well.
Frank DeLuca, good guy, runs a lot of horses here at Parks. They shipped down there because they wanted to run in those Florida Stakes, won the Swale, ran third in Fountain of Youth. He's a player.
We are definitely hot on the Kentucky Derby Trail. We got more national races, and we're going right back to the sunshine there at Gulfstream Park. And the Devona Dale and the Grade 2 Devona Dale, when you take a look at this race, complexion changed again. We talked about Aoife's Magic and running in the Busher earlier.
Yep.
Jody's Pride, winner of that race, faced the horse that ended up not running in the Devona Dale.
Right, just FYI, I was a 2-year-old filly champ, Chris, and the reason they went to New York with the winner of the Busher is they wanted to stay away from Just FYI, who scratched because of a fever. It was just a strange day down in Florida, and all of a sudden the race became wide open, except for Leslie's Rose became the odds-on favorite for Todd Pletcher. Todd Pletcher, does he win many races, to your knowledge?
I think he's done very well in all divisions across the board. Let's find out what happened in the Grade 2 Devona Dale. Pete Aiello, one more time on the call.
Fiona's Magic continues to roll. She went 47-2 for a half mile and is 5/16 from home and a length in front. Leperoux hasn't really asked into Champagne yet. She's up on the outside into second. Leslie's Rose given the green light to launch a bid. She needs to find room toward the rail. She's going to try to thread the needle here as they're off the turn on the stretch drive. Into Champagne, takes her shot now at Fiona's Magic. Leslie's Rose in tight toward the rail. They come past the 8th pole. Into Champagne, rouse forward to try to get Fiona's Magic, who's very game. Leslie's Rose with too much to do. Fiona's Magic turning back into Champagne.
And there you saw Fiona's Magic getting the job done. Plenty of magic on today's show, and Michael Yates gets the job done. Tyler Gaffleone, he knows how to get him to the winner's circle as well.
He does. He's one of the best there is, Chris.
All right, we got a chance to catch up with, we've heard plenty from us. Let's talk to jockey Tyler Gaffleone about that trip, and Let's Go Racing's Danny Gibson had this quick interview with the winning jock.
Fiona's Magic. So this was the second time you rode her. You had to like the post position this time.
I did. You know, it was great getting to become familiar with her last time. I had worked her one time beforehand, but not always the same in the mornings as in the afternoon. I actually was able to learn something about the filly. The first time I rode her, she was traveling so easy, and I thought she was going to give me more of a punch, but she's a little more steady, and we were able to kind of use that idea and transfer it into her last race, and she was very responsive, and Michael Yates and his team did a great job with her, but she really stepped it up.
Bo Yates also trains Frankie's Empire, who's a horse from Parks, and we couldn't be more happy for you and look forward to get you back up here for the big day in September.
No, that'd be amazing. I've made the trip twice now. We've had a couple of seconds and thirds, so we're knocking on the door. Hopefully this is a year.
And right now we turn the page to Turning for Home, of course, and it's the family photo of the week, but we're going to call it the bachelor photo of the week as well. My man King's House, and this has been a special horse for me. This is one of the first horses that I got connected to when I was calling races here at Parks, and I always said I love that plucky 10-year-old. Well, he's gotten older, and now he's gone off to retirement. We're going to get the shirts, we're going to get the merchandise. I do that very well. They asked me about riding the horse. That's an absolute non-starter for me. But King's House, and thank you again to Danielle Montgomery, Samantha Potts, the entire team at Turning for Home. Let's turn the page to our jockey of the week. Joseph Rangel, how about this? He had a nice week.
He did have a nice week. We're going to see him in just a second in the PTHA Trophy race, but it has to be our jockey of the week.
And trainer of the week, Hugo Padilla. Look at that smile from Hugo Padilla, and they got the job done and won a nice stakes race as well.
Did win a nice stakes race in Park. We know those New Yorkers don't be coming down here trying to get the money.
Time to switch gears as we have best of the rest, and let's head out to the west. Look at that all rhymed, Dick. But we talk about the big cap, Santa Anita handicap.
Yeah, the big cap. Bob Baffert has won this 5 times, and he's going to try to win 6 with Newgate here, and he's coming up late. And this is a wild story, Chris. This horse is ridden by Frankie Dettori. He's going to get up late. As a young man, Frankie started his career in California watching the big cap, and it was one of the biggest races in the world, and he was thrilled to win it with Newgate. Baffert was in 3 stakes on Sunday at Santa Anita, Chris, and he won them all, including the big cap.
Yeah, Bob Baffert still knows what he's he's doing on the racetrack there. Plenty of winners on the West Coast and on the East Coast, maybe in September.
Yeah, he likes to win that PA Derby.
PTHA Trophy race time. It was the 4th race on Tuesday, Dave.
Really competitive race, Chris. And keep an eye on the 4. Hide the Ransom. He's going to come on the outside fairly late to get up by a half a length for our Jockey of the Week.
Congratulations to Hide the Ransom and Ernesto Padilla Preciado in the PTHA Trophy race. Let's take one more break. We'll come right back. We've got plenty more still. News and notes, Ion Racing, and Park Picks right here on NBC Sports Philadelphia.
When you open the BetParks app, you're in the zone. Winning is always a rush, but the money is in the moments. It's the anticipation of another face card, the thrill of an extra spin, and the pure joy of a jackpot. It's all your favorite games at your fingertips. Plus, get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down in the first 24 hours. You play for fun, you love to win. You bet. BetParks.
And welcome back, and we get right back into the action. We're taking a look at next week. It's Parks Picks time, of course, and you've got plenty of selections, but somebody won another race.
We did. Danny picked the winner last week on our Parks Picks, Chris. You had Counter Spy, the 1 horse here for Bobby Mosca, is going to win Monday's 9th race, win easy. My pick causes trouble, finished 3rd. I'll see if I can do better this week.
As if Danny Gibson wasn't doing enough on today's show. She's giving out winners as well. What'd you like for next week?
Monday's 8th. Good race. A really good starter optional claimer. I've always loved Johnny Ridd. This is a cool horse who's won a ton of times, but he just finds ways to get to the winner's circle. 9 for 47 lifetime with 11 seconds. I like Johnny Ridd in the 8th race Monday, Chris.
Shout out one more time, Danny Gibson, because she just sent us a message. She said practical coach. That's all she said. She's looking forward to that.
That's all she needed to know.
Let's move to Ion Racing, and some of the prep races, not as many, but Tampa Bay still running them on.
Yeah, it's a really kind of a quiet week, Chris. It's going to get hot here really soon. Tampa Bay Derby this Saturday is really the only big Kentucky Derby prep race, and no more time. And one, the Sam Davis is going to get some play down there. Domestic product for Chad Brown ran 2nd in the Holy Bull. I think they're the 2 big players at the Tampa Bay Derby.
And news and notes as we continue on, and some sad news to share is Plum Pretty passed away.
Yeah, Plum Pretty won the 2011 Kentucky Oaks and the 2011 Cotillion. As you're seeing here, she wins this race by 7.5. She's a PA bred, born on Mark Reed's farm down in Chester County. She won the Sunland Park Oaks that year by 25, Chris, and was it 6-1 in the Kentucky Oaks. Bruce and I just happened to be there, and I might have had a few dollars on her that day, but it was awesome when she came here that fall to win the Cotillion. And Mark Reed was the breeder. He got $86,000 that day as his part of the breeding fund of the PA breeders. If you don't want to breed horses in Pennsylvania, you're making a mistake. Breed them right here in the state. You can make big paper.
Rest easy, and plenty of memories for us. Lifelong ones there with Plum Pretty, cool. And our thoughts with those connections as well. As we close out the show, Kentucky Derby Trail, it really heats up, and now we start to get into some of those big races.
Yeah, it's interesting because I'm really disappointed that Baffert can't run his horses, because I think he might have the 2 of the 3 best, including Nysos, but he can't do it. But you know what, Chris? We'll see what's going to happen next. Can't wait for the next one.
And all your writings, we can always find those.
Let's go racingparks.com every week. And by the way, 12:40 new post time starting on Monday here at Parks.
We get to sleep in a little bit. Not Danny Gibson, though. She'll be back next week. We'll see you guys here next Saturday when we come back with Let's Go Racing on NBC Sports Philadelphia.
And they're off. Skippy Longstocking has early speed. We the people from in between horses. Taba has got the lead now. It's Taba in the center of the racetrack, but Taba is drawing away. And Taba with Mike Smith, they win the BetParks Pennsylvania Derbies.